welcome to another reading lesson with Miss Meadows. I am so excited for this story that we are going to be reading today. If you do not have your My Book yet, please pause the video, press the pause button, and quickly go get your My Book so that we can use it for our story today. You are going to need it. So if you don't have it yet, that is the little green book that has a kid with a backpack on the front. Please go get that now. Pause your video to go get it, and then you can start the video back up once you've got it. We are going to do the same three things that we always do. We're going to go through our vocabulary, we talk about our anchor chart, and then read our story together and hopefully have time to open up some of our gem choices today. But we are going to first start with our vocabulary. So as always, I will say the word, repeat the word after me, and then I will explain it to you a little bit. The first word is ugly. Say ugly. Very good. Ugly is an adjective or a describing word. If something is ugly, it's not nice to look at. Like, for example, this fish here is a little bit ugly. It's not nice to look at. It looks a little bit scary to Miss Meadows, actually. The next word is paddled. Say paddled. Very good. Paddled is a verb or an action word. If you paddle through water, you swim by moving your hands and feet. So those of us who were swimming this summer or maybe have pools at home, you paddle in your pool to stay afloat. It's how you stay up above the water. The next word is chilly. Say chilly. Very good. Chilly is an adjective or a describing word. When something is chilly, it is cold. So we wear coats and mittens in the winter to keep us warm so that we are not chilly when we go outside when it's cold. These friends are wearing mittens and jackets and hats to make sure that they are not chilly when they go outside. The next word is beautiful. Say beautiful. Very good. This is one of Miss Meadows' favorite words. Beautiful is an adjective or a describing word. Something that is beautiful is nice to look at. So this garden is full of many beautiful flowers. I might also say that we are sitting beautifully on the carpet, which means it's so nice to look at you doing the right thing on the carpet. The next word is changed. Say changed. Very good. Changed is a verb or an action word. If something changed, it became different from what it was. So in this picture, we have a chrysalis that a caterpillar is in, and then it is turning into a butterfly because that caterpillar has changed into a butterfly. It turned into something different. So we are going to, you'll never guess, we have finished our vocabulary for the day. Kiss your brain. And we are going to move right along onto our anchor chart for today. So we are going to be talking about asking and answering questions today. Ask and answer questions. It is always important to be asking questions as well as answering questions when we're reading so that we can better understand the story that we're reading. Now, when do we ask questions? When is it appropriate to ask questions during a story? You might ask a question before reading. Just from looking at the cover, you might have questions about the story. You might ask a question during the story because you might think of something during the story that you don't understand. And you might ask a question after reading because after reading, you might be still confused about something in the story. So before, during, and after are all times that you can ask questions. There's really not a bad time to ask a question as long as you're not interrupting. And why do we ask questions? We ask questions to get information, to help us to understand the story, to practice being awake and thinking while reading. And what we mean by awake is actively listening to the story, and to be curious and wonder as we read. How do we ask questions when we're reading? We use questions like who, what, where, why, when, and how when we are reading in order to ask questions. So we might ask who about a character, or what, or where the story happens, or why a character is doing something, or when something is going to happen, or how it happens to better understand. And in order to answer these questions, we might need to ask a teacher for some help. But you can also look in the pictures to answer some of those questions. If they were questions that you asked before the story, or maybe if after the story you were still confused, you could go back in and look at the words and the pictures to maybe answer those questions for yourself. So now that we know our anchor chart about asking and answering questions, and we are thinking about maybe asking and answering some questions as we read this, we're going to move on to our story today, which is called Big Dilly's Tale. This is a fairy tale, which is an old story that has made up characters and events that could not happen. So, little spoiler, our story today is going to be about an animal that talks. That makes it a fairy tale because animals can't really talk in real life. So, when we're reading this, we know that it is fiction or a made-up story because animals could not really talk in real life. When we read fairy tales, we look for phrases like once upon a time. Raise your hand if you've heard once upon a time before. Yeah, you might have heard that in a story you've heard before, like maybe a Disney movie. And we're also going to look for a happy ending. Fairy tales always have an ending that is happy, where all of the problems are solved. Our purpose for reading today is to ask questions before, during, and after you read to help you understand the text and get information. You're going to look for evidence or clues in the text and pictures to answer your questions. So you might be able to answer your own questions that you ask, but if you're thinking of a question that you're not able to answer on your own, feel free to raise your hand and your teacher will come around and make sure that they answer that question for you if you are thinking of something. Now, our story today, again, is called Big Dilly's Tale. The author of our story is Gail Carson Levine, and we're going to listen to a little bit of what she has to say about her story.
Gail Carson Levine is an award-winning author who thinks reading is almost as important as breathing. When she wrote Big Dilly's Tale, she picked words that are just right, not too easy and not too hard. Her favorite character is Minna because she is such a good friend. Minna and Dilly love playing together in the water and splashing each other. Did you know that Ms. Levine has a dog named Reggie that also loves water? He likes to bite it.
Oh boy, that made me so excited to listen to this story. I cannot wait to see what it is about. So, what I need you to do is in your My Book, find this page with Big Dilly's Tale, this picture inside your My Book. Please give this video a pause, press the pause button, and go ahead and find this page in your My Book. Do not start looking until you've hit the pause button. So press pause, and then you may press play once you've found this page. If you're struggling to find Big Dilly in your book, please raise your hand, and a teacher will be around to help you find it if you need help. So raise a hand if you need help, but pause the video. And I'm going to start assuming that you have found that page in your book. Our story today is called Big Dilly's Tale by Gail Carson Levine, our author who writes the words, and illustrated by Jui Ishida, who is the person who draws the pictures. Go ahead and turn your page for me. What I would like you to do is, as I'm reading, take your finger, put it up in the air just like this. And I would love it if you could place it on the words as I'm reading the words. So follow along using your finger. If you feel comfortable wanting to try and read some of the words out loud with me, that is okay. But today I am more worried about you listening and understanding what the story is about. So just take your finger and follow along in your book with me so you know when to turn the page. Our story goes like this. Once upon a time, Dilly was a big duckling with a big beak. A duck called him ugly. To the next page. His friend Minna called him cute. Dilly splashed, splat. And then here we have honk, ha,